So I need a computer case and I don't feel like spending a lot of money. And this is kind of today's project. So sibling's vehicle and he needed some brake work done. And now that I've done the brakes for him, he's going to drive me to go pick up this case. So this popped up on the Facebook Marketplace. It's the Fractal Meshify 2. It's bigger than the Meshify C. And I really love the Meshify C. That was one of my favorite computer cases that I've ever used. And it's fantastic. And the reason why I need a computer case is because I'm using that Asus Tough case. And I like the case, but it's way too big. It's way too heavy. And I think this might be good enough. Let's head over there and let's pick it up.
See, I treat my computer cases like passengers.
Buckle it up. Don't want it to get damaged.
Don't worry, after this we'll go off-roading, okay?
We should. It's the best $40 I ever got.
This is nice.
I even got a box of OnlyFans. OnlyFans. So there she is. 40 bucks. Can't go wrong. You know, folks, I've been doing the used parts hustle for many years. And I will say this. It just always gets sketchy. This one was sketchy. A little bit sketchy. You said this area is not the best?
No.
Yeah, not the best area. I've never been out here, but my brother says, you know, it's not the best.
It's rough areas. Rough areas.
There's like a padlock on the house. Yeah, not the best area, but it is what it is. But for $40, that's a cool case. I think they go for about $100, $150. I'll post on the screen the last time I priced one for. But $40 for a case, a box of fans is a good deal. Definitely got plenty of parts to put computers in there. As far as what I'm gonna do with it, I don't know. But yeah, very sketchy. Nice. But let's get back to the house. We'll take a look at it and we'll see what we do with it. So it is actually 2 weeks later and I finally have some free time to go ahead and tinker with this case. But I'm excited, but not excited. So the original plan was was to actually take this case and put my computer stuff into this case. Now I have the Asus Tough 501 case or 501, 510 case, whatever it is. It's big. And it really leaves a big footprint the way I have it set up for my PC setup. And I want something a little bit smaller, but yet bigger than the Be Quiet one I did have. And I should have done some more research because I thought just because it was the 2 version, it would be a little bit bigger, which it is bigger than the Meshify C, but they have the XL versions, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which is what I would need so it could fit my graphics card. Now, I have the 4080 Super Strix, yeah, the 4080 Super Strix, great graphics card, runs really quiet, but unfortunately it doesn't fit in here. That graphics card is like 358 millimeters, 14 and some change inches, and yeah, it'd be a little tight. It won't fit with the front fans. I did do some measurements with it, but yeah, I don't want to give up the front fans. The one thing I will say about that Asus case is that the airflow is pretty decent. My computer runs nice and quiet, don't have any issues with thermals and all that type of stuff, so I don't want to give that up just for a smaller footprint. I'm just gonna have to find a better case that's gonna work. Maybe I might get lucky and find an XL version of this. I know the Meshify 3 XL is bigger, would look nicer, but for now, yeah, I can't use this. Should have done my homework, but for $40, it's still a good deal considering that I did have the box of fans that come with it. So the plan, gotta recoup, gotta get that $40 back, and the only way to do that is to put a computer in it and sell it. So that's the direction we're gonna go with this video. We're gonna go grab some parts that I do have, extra parts from cannibalization, flips, trade-ins, and all that type of stuff. Put a cheap computer together, flip it, and also, you know, get the experience of building in this case. So let's show you what I got. A mess. That's right. I got a huge mess. So I just kind of grabbed things off the shelf. This is a Cooler Master cooler. I think it should get the job done for the system I'm going to be putting together. Looks nice. Not too bad. Has the hardware and I don't have to go hunting for it. So that's a good thing. I do have a bunch of coolers lying around and I've kind of misplaced the hardware. I got to inventory it better, you know, plastic bags and all that type of stuff. So that would be ideal. For the memory, got some Vulkan. This was actually a computer that I bought the entire computer, cannibalized it, and this was actually what was left. So this is 8 gigs of DDR4 2666, which should work. Storage, because storage drives are a little bit expensive, I've been having to do this more. I kind of got away from it, but I'm kind of back to doing it because these are a dime a dozen. These have gone up in prices, and I've got to stick within a budget. So this is a team group, 240 gigs. Typically, I like to do a 500 gig solid state or M.2 with my builds, but all I have right now is a bunch of 240 gigs and a bunch of 2 terabytes. Seagate Barracuda 2 terabyte mechanical drive. I mean, not terrible, enough to get the job done. So we'll run with it. Helps the budget. Power supply. Got ourselves a Thermaltake Smart 500 watt power supply, which should be pretty decent. I might have to go back and see what I have, but I think that power supply will be fine. I might change it later on, so we'll see. I'd just rather get this stuff up and running for now. And that's typical. Sometimes I'll start one way with a build and we'll change it later on, so we'll see where we go. Graphics card. This is one that I forgot I had. This is a 2060 Super. I think this is the computer that the customer got scared of it because he turned the computer on, it made a popping noise, freaked him out, he was done with it, and well, he gave it to me. It was actually a pretty decent build. I think it was a Ryzen 7 2700, 2060 Super, 16 gigs. I think it did have some storage on it, all that type of stuff. And everything was fantastic, minus the power supply. That computer, I went ahead and popped in another graphics card with it. I kept this one, and I had this one hidden in one of my many shelves. So 2060 Super, the gigabyte, should definitely be pretty decent. And for the flavor of the motherboard CPU combo, got this one. This one is a Strix Z370E gaming with an i7 9700K. Pretty decent, still capable of gaming. This was another one that I actually got in trade. So this was my old motherboard CPU combo. I sold it in a build. The guy upgraded and had a whole bunch of other work done on another system, and I took this motherboard and CPU in as trade because, well, they still have good value, and pop it in the computer with spare parts I have lying around, make a couple of dollars. And we got the IO plate, so that is the way that we are going to go. And I do that a lot. I take in parts and computers as trade, kind of assess if it's worth it as far as, you know, what I can get out of it, if I was to flip the part or just use it for another build. So it just kind of depends. There are some times where I do turn down hardware and older computers because it's not worth my time for what I could get out of it or what it's worth. So I got to gauge everything I get first, and then I make that determination. So it varies. But on to this case, and it's kind of a bummer because it's really nice. I like the way that this, you know, just pull this open. No screws, that's pretty cool. And $40, this is in really good condition. You have your normal dust, which is fine, but there's nothing that's broken. Now, the dude, he was a Ryzen guy. He really liked the Ryzen 7000 series, the number 9. So kudos to him. Also up top, USB 3.0 and Type-C, which is one of the reasons why I wanted this case. I do miss having my Type-C, you know, easily accessible up front. The other case doesn't have it, so that's kind of unfortunate. The other good thing about this case too, getting it used, it doesn't stink. That's a plus. Wasn't in a smoker's or vapor's home, so that's pretty nice. Zip ties, I like it, yes. These, which honestly, I really don't like using these. I'd rather use a zip tie. I don't know, it's just my personal preference. I mean, they do work, they get the job done. We do have the caddy, so we could pop in the SSD. But as I'm looking at it, I already see a potential issue. Yeah, where am I gonna put the mechanical drive? Well, that's no bueno. Might have to look on the website and see if, can you put a mechanical drive? Some cases you can kind of screw them to the bottom. Oh boy. We'll have to think about that. So we had a problem, now we got a solution. So there's actually supposed to be a drive cage for this, but I guess the dude, you know, deleted on it and just threw it out. I will admit, I've done that too. I've been guilty of it and then regretted it later on, but I've grown, I've learned. But yeah, looking at the information, is supposed to be a drive cage. We don't have that. But what we do have, I got these laptop drives. I actually have 4 of these, 2 terabyte Seagate laptop drives. They do work. They test perfect, low hours, all that type of good stuff. So what we can do is, yeah, but we need to go ahead and delete on this. I think that's the only one. Yeah. Start dusting things off. We'll get the blower. You know, get this case looking nice. Push this thing gently out. Oh man, the door like swings open. That's kind of cool. Is it? Wait. Kind of separating over here. Is this supposed to do that? I think it just popped that right there. There we go. Which is cool because this mesh is nice and clean, but we need to put some fans in here. And fortunately, like I said, keep doing the fans. Now, I did take a look at these. We have these Noxia ones, which I really like, and I am not going to use for these builds because they're 4 pins. I like them. But he did include the original fractal fans. So it looks like we have 2 140s and a 120. These are 3 pins. I mean, they're okay. I mean, these things look like they were never used. He probably went with these as a personal preference, which that's cool. But we can pop these in and have new fans and be good to go. Now, in case you're wondering, is there going to be any RGB with this computer? And the answer is more than likely no. Because this is a as budget as I can PC. RGB is nice. It does sell, and I like to throw it in if I have it, but I don't have it. I think we're going to feed this one down right through there. And then we'll just run it to the back over here. Maybe use a splitter, kind of see where the headers line up, and that should work. All right, we'll put the rest in and we'll keep moving on. Power supply. Let's pop you in just like so. Maybe, hopefully. I don't know, maybe this guy was in a rush to take this computer apart and sell it. I mean, I did buy it in a sketchy area, so, you know, anything's possible. Maybe he wasn't a computer guy. Seemed really cool, but he was also very quiet. Maybe this thing had like 128 gigs of DDR5 and the computer was stolen and he sold the DDR5, scalped it on the black market. This is Fayetteville. Anything's possible. Kinda need you to fit in there, buddy. Okay, so I got a little stuck because of the grate. Right over here, I just pushed it down with the flathead screwdriver, but, well, I lost it. There's a little rubber grommet that was kind of keeping me from pushing it in, but we're good now. Let's go ahead and lock you in, you know? So now we need to do the motherboard, heatsink, graphics card, memory, all that type of stuff. This fan, I usually put it in after I put the motherboard in. Just, you know, makes it easier, plus the connector up there. So let's switch to a montage and let's see how this thing comes out. So how does it run? Well, it doesn't. And as you can see, I'm stuck in this black screen. Unfortunate. I'm not really sure what is wrong with it. Could be a number of things. And what's going on is that it posts, which it's supposed to do. You can get into the BIOS, check all the settings, notice the temperatures, put everything factory default, it works good. The minute you try to install Windows, you know, it does the little circle thingy with the ASUS logo, because it is an ASUS motherboard, and it won't go past that. I've tried different versions of Windows 11. I've tried Linux boot drive, that didn't work. And yeah, just a whole slew of settings, and I'm really not sure exactly what is wrong with it. And that's kind of unfortunate, but then again, it does happen with older hardware. So yeah, this totally stinks. Now, when I say it does happen with older hardware, I mean, what I mean by that is that's the gamble you take with used hardware. That's probably the best way to say it. Yeah, it's the gamble you take with used hardware. You just never know. That's why I thoroughly test things to reduce the chance that this could happen and find out early before I end up selling something that's junk. So that does happen, and that is a thing. But as far as what's wrong with it, I mean, could it be the power supply? Maybe when it's installing, trying to load the Windows installation, the power supply is just not giving enough beans. But I have used this power supply several times and I've never had an issue with it, so could be it. The memory was giving me some issue with the timings and all that type of stuff. I did have to tweak it a little bit. Could that be the issue? Could it be the board, the CPU? I'm not 100% sure. Graphics card, doubtful. And as far as this AIO, I had to switch from the Cooler Master to this because, well, I didn't have the right hardware and I can't seem to find it, which leads me to the next thing. I definitely got to do inventory, organize my stuff, because I need to know what I got and what I can and cannot use, and then go ahead and do some more purging. So that part. Now, as far as the storage drives, I did unplug the mechanical one. I've seen that happen when those go bad. That causes a similar issue. That's unplugged right now, so still doing the same thing. Could it be the SSD? I don't know. As far as like diving in and diagnosing it, and I think I'm gonna walk away from this for a little bit, and let me give you my thoughts. So folks, sometimes you gotta walk away from it. This computer has actually gotten me a little frustrated. Primarily, number one, my fault. I didn't do the homework on this case, and I was really excited to use it on my main build, but I can't because it would be a little bit too small. So that's on me all day long. And as far as the, this hardware combination, putting this computer was a little frustrating in the sense that, well, didn't have the drive cage, which once again, that's on me, that's my fault. I should have checked that, but either way, $40 still was a good deal. Having to use this cooler because I couldn't find the hardware, which I got to organize my stuff. And yeah, I got to start testing the memory one stick at a time, try a different power supply, maybe have to flash the BIOS, that might do it. I mean, who knows? But unfortunately, this computer doesn't work. It requires more diagnosis. I have to dive into it. Just frustrated me a little bit. So I'm just gonna walk away from it for a little bit, maybe about a couple of days or a week, and then come back. And that's where I'm gonna end today's video. I might do a part 2. Maybe I will do a part 2. Let me know in the comments. Going over the diagnosis and my steps and my procedures and trying to see what it is. So does this discourage me from buying used hardware? Absolutely not. It is what it is. I think it's just a series of everything happening all at once that just got me a little frustrated. And sometimes you got to walk away, take a breather, come back, start fresh, and never work on something or try to diagnose something when you're frustrated, because yeah, you're going to be chasing around in circles or chasing your tail in circles, whatever that saying is. But that's what I'm gonna do for now. And with all that being said, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. What do you think is wrong with it? What method should I take to diagnose this? And with this risk in mind, is buying used hardware still worth it? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.